The year 2050 is no longer science fiction. In just 25 years, there will be nearly 10 billion people on Earth. Your children, or even you, might wake up in a world where what seems like a nightmare today is the new normal. We're on the brink of civilizational change that will rewrite the history books. What awaits us? What will daily life look like when the old world stops working? Here's a chilling journey into a future where optimism gives way to urgent warning. Total climate change, the end of civilization as we know it. By 2050, the average global temperature is expected to rise by over 2.53 degrees CE, according to the most pessimistic scenarios. This isn't just hotter days. It means dozens of days each year above 50 degrees, a lethal threshold for the human body. Cities and countries will vanish. Cairo, Dhaka, Mumbai, Jakarta, and dozens of other megacities will become uninhabitable. Rising sea levels will swallow coastlines. According to the World Bank, by 2050, over 1 billion people will live in areas at risk of flooding. Mega droughts. North Africa, the Middle East, California, and Australia will be places where water is a matter of survival. More super hurricanes, mega wildfires, and tornadoes, disasters that can reshape entire countries in days. Scene from 2050, a parched, post-apocalyptic Europe. Children play in the shade of dried-up parks where trees once bloomed. Air conditioners run non-stop, electricity is rationed, and water is more expensive than gasoline. Global food crisis. Food becomes a luxury for the elite. Growing population, soil degradation, insect die-off, and ecosystem collapse will make even basic food a luxury commodity. Harvests of staple crops, wheat, corn, rice, could drop by 20 to 40%. Food prices may rise by hundreds of percent. Meat and dairy will disappear from the daily menu of the middle class, replaced by powders and synthetic substitutes. GMO crops, lab-grown meat, insects, and microalgae will become the norm. Underground farms, hydroponic towers, and vertical warehouses in cities will replace traditional fields and pastures. Nations will protect their food supply with embargoes and, if necessary, by force. Scene from the future. A father in 2050 shows his daughter a hologram of a cow. She's never tasted real milk. Schools distribute nutrition shakes. Real food is traded on the black market, but only for the rich. An economy without work, 1 billion redundant, 1 billion desperate. Automation, AI, and robots will wipe out most traditional jobs. Up to 1 billion people could lose their jobs. Not just manual workers, but accountants, lawyers, drivers, and even doctors. Universal Basic Income, UBI, will become necessary, but will create a new class of digital poor. New wealth will belong only to those who control technology, data, and creativity. Urban outskirts will become hopeless ghettos, with the jobless surviving from benefit to benefit. Scene from the future. A line forms at the Social Credit Office. People collect digital tokens for basic survival. There are jobs only for the chosen few. Career becomes a myth. The Surveillance Society. Loss of privacy and anonymity. A global panopticon. Networks of smart cameras, drones, biometric scanners, sensors, and AI analyze every word, move, and micro-expression. A digital footprint from cradle to grave. Everything about you is stored, analyzed, sold, and used, often without your knowledge. Social credit systems, like in China, will decide if you can travel, buy, rent an apartment, enter a school or hospital. Crime moves to cyberspace, and daily life becomes a never-ending test of acceptable behavior. Imagine a world where anonymity doesn't exist. Every wrong joke, political comment, or behavior means fines, bans, loss of services, or even work. Your home is monitored by AI, your health is rated by algorithms, and friends might report you for bad behavior. Ecosystem collapse, a world without nature. By 2050, up to 1 million species could go extinct. Insects, birds, amphibians, mammals. Rainforests and wetlands will vanish. Coral reefs will crumble. Oceans will lose 90% of large fish. Without pollinators, harvests will fail, famines will strike, new ecosystem diseases will emerge, and many traditional cultures will disappear. Farming will be replaced by food factories, cities surrounded by greenhouses, parks will be only digital simulations. Children in 2050 will never have seen a bee, a bat, or heard birdsong. Animals are known only from VR and museums. The world is gray, quiet, and sterile. Food is lab-grown, water recycled to the last drop. Pandemics and the return of deadly diseases, superbugs resistant to all antibiotics, will kill millions every year. Pandemics on the scale of COVID-19 will become more frequent and far deadlier. Urbanization, climate migration, and overcrowded cities are perfect incubators. Simple infections will be deadly again. Medicine will regress by a century. Health apartheid. The rich live in clean zones, the poor in disease-ridden ghettos. A world without vaccines? Every doctor visit is a risk. Schools close, millions of children grow up without peers. Funeral homes operate non-stop. Digital apocalypse, cyber wars and blackouts. Everything that keeps us alive, power, water, transport, healthcare, relies on networks. Cyber attacks can paralyze a country in seconds. AI will conduct hacking attacks, sabotage infrastructure, and spread fake news on its own. Banks, power plants, hospitals, transport systems, any of them could be disabled. Without power or the internet, chaos and panic set in, and survival goes back to basics. Seen from the future. In a second, lights go out across the city. Bank accounts disappear, transport stops, people are trapped in elevators. Hospitals run on generators. Panic spreads, riots erupt. Police lose access to systems, the state stops working. Loss of truth, AI manipulation and parallel realities. Deep fakes and AI-generated media, impossible to tell what's real. Algorithms influence elections, information, relationships. The world splits into parallel realities. Public opinion manipulation is automated. Emotions and thoughts are steered by machines. No one trusts anything. Everyone lives in their own bubble of filters and news. Elections in 2050 are run by algorithms. Politicians are AI avatars. Truth ceases to exist, only emotion and impression matter. Climate and water wars, nuclear threats. Wars for water and fertile land. The Nile, Mekong, Indus, Amazon. Every leader is vital. Nuclear powers lose their restraints. Global institutions break down. New technologies enable terrorists to build weapons in home labs. Failed states are ruled by gangs and terrorists. Elites protect only themselves. Water is more valuable than gold. Wars are fast, brutal, anonymous. Drones, hackers, AI soldiers. Refugees flee to the last safe zones. Borders are guarded by robots. The crisis of humanity. Loneliness in the digital age. Virtual relationships, sex, and love with AI will be normal. Children spend most of their time in VR. Real life is boring, dangerous, or out of reach. Epidemics of mental illness, depression, anxiety, and suicide. More and more people will never know true friendship, touch, or affection. A cult of beauty and perfection, AI creates ideal patterns no one can live up to. Seen from the future. A child with VR goggles sits alone in a dark room. Instead of family, there are always nice AI friends. TikTok and social media run 24/7. Real emotions and relationships fade. Older generations talk about the old days. The young just click and escape into virtual worlds. Collapse of global institutions and the world order. The UN and international agreements lose their meaning. Every country defends its own interests. New mega-dictatorships rise. The world breaks into regional blocks. Trade and technology are used as weapons. Whoever owns the data owns the world. A new digital Iron Curtain divides the world into zones with no free movement or flow of information. The future is not set in stone. The choice is ours. This terrifying vision of 2050 does not have to come true. It's a warning. where we're heading if we don't change our values, our lifestyle, and put solidarity and responsibility first. Technology can be a savior or a tool of destruction. Whether our children's world is a dystopia or a time of renewal depends on us. 2050 can be a year of hope, rebirth, technological miracle, and a new beginning. Or it could be the end of civilization as we know it. Each of us has influence. Share, comment, reflect, and stay human.